Hey guys, Pretzelman945 here, back again with another video tonight. This is going to be my last one for tonight specifically, but this one is going to be quite a lengthy list because tonight we have top 10 favorite movie characters. Now this is one of my much bigger lists, and one of the ones I brag about as being like a major one of my lists that I mention, because I've made a lot of lists, but this is one of the major ones I mentioned. I saw alongside movies and video games and books, which is a future list coming. I don't know when. I kind of make whatever idea I see, honestly, in my notebooks. So, starting at number 10, and the only animated movie character on this list, we have Mater. Now, I know that some haters of Cars are going to disagree with me here, but I have always loved Mater. Maybe that's partly because I basically grew up watching Cars ever since I was like 6. I like this movie, but Mater was always my favorite. I always found him to be very, very wacky and funny, and it's just an enjoyable time. At number 9, you'll remember this from my favorite comedies list if you watch that, which you should. We have Mrs. Doubtfire. Now, this is actually in part due to the ingenuity of the character for one, but also completely due to how amazingly funny Robin Williams is in this role. He plays like this role of father and like nanny caretaker so well that it's just impossible to not laugh at this, and I always laugh so much when I watch this movie. It's just because of this character is why it's on this list. So, at number 8 is Gandalf. Now, I think Gandalf has some of the coolest lines in the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy. And also, he's just a cool character. Like, that's honestly the main reason why he's really on this list, is just because he's a super awesome character. Now, continuing with the super awesome characters chain, we've got Morpheus. Now, Morpheus he's just really, really awesome because, for one, he really believes in the prophecy and Neo and all that, and two, he has some of the best lines ever, by the way, and honestly some of the best moments in the entire Matrix film. And also Lawrence Fishburne does a great job as the Morpheus actor, in my personal opinion. And he's honestly the mainstay of the movie beside Neo himself, as like the coolest character in Agent Smith and all that. Now, I honestly just love Morpheus a lot. He's honestly one of my favorite things that I enjoy the most. The one thing I enjoy the most whenever I rewatch The Matrix. At number 6, and this is kind of starting to get really deep into the character arc territory here, but we have Gollum. Now, Gollum is easily my absolutely, or Smeagol, however you want to call him. He's easily my favorite character, no question, throughout the entire Lord of the Rings and Hobbit trilogy and books. I think that, for one thing, they displayed his obsession with the ring expertly. And for another, the way that Andy Serkis acted, and the way that they displayed his dual personality. Like, in one particular scene in The Two Towers, people who have watched the film will know what specific scene I'm talking about, but where, like, Sam and Frodo are sleeping, and it just kind of alternates between the scenes, and Well, for one, obviously another really good Gollum scene is when Frodo's like, "Yo, Smeagol, aren't you?" And sorry, my British accent is absolute crap, but whatever. Um, like just the way that they managed in that scene, like for one, he discovers his name, which is awesome. But in this scene I'm talking about, where like Sam and Frodo are sleeping, I think, and then it just kind of alternates between the two, and Smeagol seems to shut out the Gollum side of him. And then like the shots are the same, where Smeagol and Gollum are the same, and just the absolute ingenuity of this scene, and also various points throughout the movie where you can also see like the two different voices, while it's still him talking, but two different sides of him, and then of course in Return of the King there's that thing where he's planning whatever, and then the very end was that like the bit with the ominous bit, the music of the Samwise the Brave bit, which is another awesome moment in the film. And then he just kind of dips off, and then he's just like, and then we must kill them. We must kill the nasty hobbitses. And this is also partly due to Andy Serkis's unparalleled performance of Gollum. And this is honestly why he is one of my favorite actors of all time. Because mainly for this role, also for a few others, but mainly for this one in particular, because of, for one, how well the CG was in this, and the motion capture that was done with Gollum was something that was not seen in a movie before at the time when these were made. That's another achievement to this, but also the fact of how, for one, the way the Gollum voice sounds, and just how it's portrayed for the books, but how much better it is for the books, but also just how well the dual personality is displayed here, because of how much you see both the Gollum personality and the Smeagol personality conflicting with each other, just meshes together really, really well. And number 5, going with a really classic here, is Darth Vader. Now, I love Star Wars, so this is probably a bit of a biased pick, but I don't really care. I really think that the way that they handled Darth Vader's arc, to the bad guy becomes the good, it's a very classic arc, but one that's done extremely well, and he's just a very good character. And number 4 is Forrest Gump. Now, Forrest Gump, honestly, I love this movie. You would know that if you watch part 2 of my favorite movies list, which you should go watch because that took a very long time to record and that I need views. I'm kidding. You can go watch if you want to. Anyway, I make way too many shameless plugs in my other videos. Forrest Gump, I feel like, is really, really good character just because of the way that of his relationships with Lieutenant Dan and Bubba and Jenny and his mother even. Are honestly some of the best character relationships I've ever seen, and they really are what make the film. Honestly, are just the different character relationships present within the film, and it is honestly one of the things that makes it such a good movie. Is honestly the best thing about the movie is the character relationships, and the way Forrest relates to all of them is an example of why the character relationships are so good. And number 3 is Thanos. Now, I consider Thanos to be the best movie villain of all time. I have gone extremely in depth as to why I really love Thanos as a villain. So I'm not going to cover it again here, because it's honestly just going to take way too long and I'll remember everything I said about it. But if you want to know what I thought about Thanos as a whole and really why I think he's the best villain, go check out my top 10 best movie and TV villains video. That was a lot of fun to record, and I really go in depth as to why I think Thanos is the best villain in that particular video. So if you're interested, then go check out that video. But yeah, just know that he's easily my favorite. At number 2, I've got to go with Master Oogway here. Now, Master Oogway is I love the archetype of these characters that kind of appear wise and teacher figures. Like, it's honestly probably my favorite character archetype. It's why I really like Gandalf and Oogway and Yoda, spoilers, and characters like Kuiil from The Mandalorian, and Mr. Miyagi from The Karate Kid. Like, I love characters like that. I think that that archetype is always so well done, whatever movie it's present in, and I really, really like to see it. Master Oogway has also some of the best lines in the film, and honestly, 2 and 1 of this list are honestly way more biased picks. So at number 1 is Yoda. I've talked about why I love this character extensively when I talked about The Empire Strikes Back. Also in part 2 of my top 20 favorite films. Yeah, overall, I love Yoda and Oogway. They're kind of these two wise type characters, and they're my favorite of the two. They're also both incredibly quotable, and the reason Yoda's more so is because that he's slightly more quotable than Oogway, in my opinion. That's gonna do it for this list tonight. That was my top 10 favorite movie characters. I will be completely honest, this recording has only been around 13 minutes as I'm looking at the timer right now, but a lot shorter than I thought it would be, but yeah, thank you so much for watching, and have a good night.